Hello everyone, Rice Finance here, and today's video is going to be about changing career paths. I'm going to give you guys the do's and don'ts of what career paths you should potentially look into and how to actually identify if those career paths could be potentially taken away in the near future. So before we get into this, there's going to be three factors that you guys need to consider. AI, your future liability or the dying industry, and three, your need for the item or service. So your first factor, AI, there's an article that I was actually reading here that there are in the future within the next 7 to 10 years, a lot of jobs are more than likely to be automated. Now, what do those jobs include? Customer service representative, receptionist, accountant slash bookkeepers, salespeople, research and analysis, warehouse work, insurance underwriting, and retail. And that's just to name a few. The odds are AI will likely take over most or all white collar jobs. A lot of those jobs tend to be very automated, and so you need to consider this as a factor when potentially thinking or looking into getting into a new career path. That also falls into the future liability slash dying industries. Now, sometimes some career paths may not be looking so great. I mean, let's be honest. If you are looking into getting manufacturing of printers, as we know in the digital age, printing stuff is a dying industry. May not be the most wisest choice to get into the manufacturing printing business, especially considering the mass integration into AI technologies. You also need to see if there's a need for the item or service. Not all items and services are in demand or, quite frankly, needed. Let's be honest. There are a lot of products that are just wants, and when you are going into a tough economy, a lot of those wants seem to not be needed as much as you would think. So these are all three factors you need to consider when potentially looking for a new job opportunity or a new career path change. So let's find some industries. What I ended up doing was the US Bureau of Labor Statistics actually shows the labor force statistics for current population survey. Why did I go into this? Because this is a perfect example and table chart to kind of see what industries are actually needed or will be needed in the future, as opposed to what industries seem to be overpopulated. So the way to kind of figure this out is I ended up taking the occupations by name, and I did this for 2022. And the labor statistics has all this data. You could see then the average age that the people are in that said um, job description. For example, the average age of a farmer for median, or not average, median average, it is a median age. The median age for farmers, ranchers, and other agricultural managers is around 56 years old. So the reason I do this is because a lot of times this is a good indicator whether either the industry is a dying industry, you'll get a lot of older people in that industry, or if it is a industry that not a lot of young people are getting into and could be in a huge demand in the future. And you'll find that a lot of blue collar jobs end up being in the older people generation. Um, not that 53 is old for those of you, but eh, more old people tend to go for are in the median average age are in the blue collar jobs happens to be a lot higher than those white collar jobs. A lot more people, younger generation happens to be doing these white collar jobs. Now, does that mean certain things are not going to be needed? Well, let's take a look. So, construction and building inspectors, do you think that the economy will not want to build anymore? No. Of course, you're going to need buildings and houses. People are going to want to live. But the average age for construction and building inspectors is 53.2. What does that mean? It's a dying industry. It means that probably in the future, this is going to be a job that is going to need to get filled. I don't believe that they're going to just stop building, especially with the big flood of, especially in America, with the big flood of people coming in, especially recently. I think there's going to be more and more building. Um, First line supervisors of farming, fishing, and forestry workers. Again, age 52. Do you think that we're going to stop supervising farming, fishing, forestry? No, I don't think that's a thing. Tailors and dressmakers and sewers, however, now a lot of this gets outsourced, has been a lot of the tailors and dressmakers have been getting outsourced to different countries. So this might be a job, for example, that it is getting up there in age, and a lot of the older people is in this industry. However, it may not necessarily be a need as we keep outsourcing, at least in America, at least we keep outsourcing our dressmaking skills overseas. So this would be a job that I probably wouldn't consider getting into because I believe it might be one of those considered under the dying industry. However, one thing that I found is boilers, stationary engineers, and boiler operators. Now, this might be a great career path to get into. The average age is 50.8. So, if you are potentially looking for a new career path, being a boiler seems to be the elder generations, and I don't foresee these, especially these construction that is getting built now, I don't foresee that going away anytime soon. So I feel like this is going to be a underrated career path. Now, a lot of videos out there will say, "Oh, just get into blue collar work. You just do all the blue collar work." Not every blue collar work has a need or a demand. As you'll see, that there are a lot of the younger generation is getting into blue collar work, but specific blue collar work. For example, roofers. A lot of young people are doing roofing. That indicates that there's while there is a high demand for roofing, there is also a young age group that is going into roofing, so it might not necessarily be needed. For example, another one that I found was, if I look here, it was welding, soldering, and brazing work. So welders, while it is needed, and I don't foresee this going away anytime soon, they are a lot of young welders. So it seems to be a lot of the younger generation is taking up this welding. So again, might not be a career path you might want to get into because I don't foresee this going any. I don't foresee missing amount of welders as there's a lot of young welders who will eventually own their own businesses, as you could see. But let's get into some of these younger careers that maybe you might not want to get into, as I was saying before. A lot of young people are doing the web and digital interface. A lot of young people are doing personal care and service work. A lot of young people are doing receptionists and information clerks. A lot of young web developers. A lot of credit analysts. A lot of statisticians. Um, a lot of these a lot of these jobs, it feels, software developers, a lot of the computer jobs seem to be taken up a lot by our current generation. And what are these people going to end up needing? Well, eventually they're going to need their boiler replaced. Eventually they're going to need a house. So when you are thinking about switching your career path, now I'm not telling you what to do. You could choose whatever career path you are looking into. It's just one thing you might want to consider is that there is a lot of young people getting into these software and computer jobs, but not a lot of young people getting into the boiler and construction field. So again, you could go right onto the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, get all this information, do your own research, see what you want to do. Make sure you are then going into the factors to consider, your AI, your future liability, your need for service. And with all that, I think you guys should be able to determine what kind of a career path you should be getting yourselves into. Well, with that, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And thank you guys so much. In the most recent videos, I've been getting a lot of views and everything. And I appreciate all the new guys and girls and whoever's joining the videos. If you guys are enjoying it, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. But that's going to be it for me, Rice Finance. Thank you guys. Have a great day.